I believe that we've come to the end of the beginning. I think we've now got to the stage where we can settle down, roll up our sleeves and say, kom ons werk, there's a job to be done, we think we know what it is, we're here today to work out precisely where we're going to start and what we're going to do. And that is what I see as my main task as the keynote address deliverer. We have to get down to brass tacks today, and it's in that context that I will be talking about the lingering effect of state capture. I would also like to say that this conference did not happen in an emotional or a political vacuum. I believe, and I have no doubt about this, that there is a groundswell of concern across the whole political spectrum of the land, a groundswell of diverse interests, diverse political and social and ethnic interests. We are united in our diversity, but we are determined that as from today, things have got to start being done. We're no longer discussing, we're doing. And I would like to say, it reminds me very much of the spirit that prevailed in 1994 when we were in a mad dash to get to our elections of transformation and deliberation. And there were multiple problems and multiple handicaps and many objectors and many boycotters. But the unity of purpose of the national spirit was there, and it carried us through. I believe that that spirit is alive and well and will be carrying us through in the period which we are about to enter. Now, the background, very briefly, as I see it, because I believe it's necessary in any address to contextualize what you're saying. I believe that the broad picture is that we had a decade in which our president went rogue, our parliament went, our cabinet went walkabout, our parliament went to sleep, and our judiciary went to ground. We were aware, all of us, what was happening. We all, in one way or another, failed in our duty, either as cabinet members, as parliamentarians, as judges, and as citizens, to do something about what was manifest for all to see. There's a measure of mitigation for us, though, that for most of us, we trusted that we had this model constitution, we had an intact judiciary, an active civil society, free and competent media, and a functioning multi-party democracy, and therefore we were safe. I believe that we must learn one very, very stark lesson from that experience, and that is that notwithstanding all of these safeguards, notwithstanding all of these supports, ultimately your liberty depends upon you, not upon state institutions and not upon other people. We failed ourselves during that decade. Safeguards cannot safeguard the country. Only citizens actively participating can do so. Now, we did not know full well what was happening. We were vaguely aware, and it was first of all the state capture report which gave us the term, and then followed closely by the Gupta leaks that made us aware of the miasma of corruption and underhand dealing and influence peddling, subversion and perversion and outright capture of state institutions that had been taking place. Much of that is still there. We have ascertained, determined many locations of perversion. We have seen some of the acts of fraud But it would be useless for us here today to try to be a Zondo light examination afresh of the facts. That's what Zondo's there to do. I think we must put a different perspective to what we are trying to do, and I'm trying to give a different perspective entirely. First of all, it is dangerous to see the concept of state capture as merely relating to Zuma/Gupta influence somewhere in the country. It is much more pervasive than that. The stinking miasma has spread much further than that. Ask Chippy here of this parish how it is extended, for instance, to Port Elizabeth, where the influence of the Guptas was zilch, and where there was, to the best of my knowledge, no evidence of direct influence from the presidency in the perversion, the capture of the local authority in the Nelson Mandela metropolitan area. So we're not dealing only with Zuma-related or Gupta-related attacks on the integrity of the state. We are also not only dealing with it at the national level. True, what we saw, and largely what Deputy Chief Justice Zondo is concerned with, is interference with the mechanisms of state at the national level. But it is much more pervasive than that. I've already referred to a local authority. Of course, that's the second main point that we must realize. It's not just Gupta and Zuma related. It is not only at the national level. It goes all the way down to the local authorities that put their money knowingly, unlawfully into the VBS bank. So it's a three-dimensional problem that we are facing at both the whole of the national level and down all the way to the local government level. Also, once you have discovered an area of rot, you haven't even started addressing the problem.